We just wanted to make a difference and adopt a dog that really needed a home.
We just wanted to get him out of there, and he's been a perfect fit.
Around 6 to 8 million cats and dogs are put into animal shelters annually. From that, about 3,000 dogs a year are brought into Associated Humane Societies in Newark, New Jersey. There are more dogs than available homes. Therefore, a strong network of individuals are needed to help these dogs find a forever home.
Hi, my name is Estrella Rosenberg, and I am one of the dog evaluators at the Associated Humane Society of Newark.
How are you doing today? My name is Scott Crawford. I represent the Associated Humane Societies of New Jersey as our program director.
My name is Jennifer Gregory. I'm from Mount Pleasant Animal Shelter in East Hanover, New Jersey, and I'm the operations director here. Basically, I run the whole shelter, bringing in the cats and the dogs for adoption.
My name is Dave Minfield. I'm the manager and Chief Animal Control Officer for Newark Associated Humane Society. I've been working for this company for 10 years.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Santos. Gotta think about it, 27 years old, almost. I'm currently fostering a dog from the Newark Animal Shelter with Flyaway Home Rescue.
These individuals, and many more like them, make all the difference in finding these displaced animals somewhere they can call home. One of the most important things that is done are dog events. Hosted by shelters and rescues, these events offer a safe and happy place for families and individuals to meet these dogs and hopefully adopt them. The exposure is a great benefit for the animals and gives them a well-deserved day out.
Just in the North Branch, we're taking roughly about 3,000 dogs a year, about 2,800 cats a year. Of that, only 25% of them are adopted. We're lucky we work with over 180 different rescue organizations that do come into our organization and help us out by taking animals, placing them in foster homes. It alleviates the burden on our backs. But it's still very important that the people out there know that sterilization is the #1 problem in the world today for the population of animals.
I guess basically why I came to adopt, just get these dogs off the street and give them a home that they deserve. Probably give them better care than what they actually had in the past, if they're stray dogs or if they're surrendered dogs. Obviously strayed or surrendered for a reason. The reason I started working with animals has to be because when I first adopted from the Newark Associated Humane Society and I saw the amount of animals that were homeless and I knew I couldn't take them all in myself, so I said what better way to help out than to actually be a part of it.
Our mission here at Mount Pleasant Animal Shelter is under 501c3, nonprofit organization. We're here to save homeless animals, take in owner surrenders. We also take returns. But when I'm searching for animals in New Jersey to save, I focus on animal control and other shelters that do euthanize. Majority of the time I try to pick smaller dogs, but we actually have a program now. We're working very closely with Newark, and I take pit bulls out of there all the time as long as they have a wonderful temperament and they're going to get adopted from our shelter in a timely manner. But normally the dogs that I go and I look for are the smaller dogs, so they get adopted quickly and we can fill our shelter with, keep filling our shelter with other dogs.
The challenging thing we deal with at the Associated Humane Societies, especially in our Newark branch, is the amount of animals that we see come in daily. There are far greater numbers of animals coming into the shelters than available homes in the state of New Jersey.
The toughest part of being in rescue is obviously seeing cases of abuse and people not caring about their animals, and also having to say no to certain animals coming into our building as a nonprofit organization.
The reason we started a volunteer program at our Newark shelter was the dogs need adequate exercise every day of at least 20 minutes, and there are far greater numbers of animals than the staff are able to walk every day. Also, it's good to have a group of individuals who are willing to do outreach days at adoption events because that's how we place the greatest number of animals in homes.
I got involved with going to the Newark shelter, which I call Associated Humane in Newark, back in I think it was about 2.5 years ago, because my husband wanted for his birthday to take me to the Newark shelter. So we went on his birthday, and there was hundreds of dogs barking at us as we walked by, because it's actually, as you're going to see in the footage, the dogs, the females and the males, actually face each other. So it's like a prison. So all the prisoners just make a lot of noise. So it's really overwhelming.
The most rewarding part of working here is obviously saving the animals. Every day I love coming to work, and you know, spending the day with animals all day is really fun. And you know, finding families for these guys. Families come in here and they find their forever animal.
Fostering to me is being able to help a dog get adopted more easily. Normally when people are looking for a dog, they don't really want to deal with like housebreaking them or like little behavioral problems they might have. So when you foster a dog, it helps get rid of those things, or like, you know, you start getting them on a routine, it makes them more adoptable. Also, in Alvin's case, he was so skinny, had no energy, like all he did was sleep all day. Now, you know, you're starting to see him come out of his shell, and like more of his personality is coming out. So when somebody wants to adopt him, I can tell them a lot more about him than if he was still in the shelter.
Boy!
And when they found him, he was skin and bones, literally. You could see every single bone on his body, his hip bones, all of his ribs, you could count them. Now he's filling in, he's getting bigger, it looks like even. He's just looking like a totally different dog. I actually live on the 4th floor of my building, and we realized last week that after going down a couple of steps, he kind of won't use one of his back legs. And so it's been not getting worse, but it just wasn't getting better over the week. So we took him to get checked today, and we just found out that he has a genetic disorder where his back knees pop out of place like all the time. So he's gonna need major surgery to get it fixed, or else he's just gonna become crippled like with age. So that's another good thing about fostering, because if somebody had just adopted him from the shelter without knowing that, they probably would take him back, you know, once they found out, because it's probably a really expensive surgery. So thankfully we found out, and we're gonna take care of it.
This is Cookie. Cookie is just one of the many dogs that find themselves at the Associated Humane in Newark. However, Cookie has a unique issue. This 3-month-old puppy has a neurological problem which impairs her balance. She manages to run normally, but walking and her overall stance in general is compromised. She was abandoned by the man that bred her mother, most likely due to her poor balance and difficulties. Luckily for this sweet puppy, she is currently being fostered by Flyaway Home Rescue, where she is receiving lots of physical therapy, including water therapy. Dealing with her impairment and becoming more independent and happy, she is one step closer to finding her forever home.
We actually adopted Daphne before I started my efforts with the Newark Animal Shelter. We adopted Daphne about 2 years ago, and made 2 years in January. We started off with my husband saying on the weekends, "Oh, we're bored, why don't we go to the shelter and look at dogs?" And the ritual was, when we got home, he would say, "So which dogs would you actually adopt?" So one day he actually took me to the Bergen County Animal Shelter, and we did the same ritual, looking at, you know, who would we take home. But for some reason, that just wasn't an ordinary Sunday. I actually took it very serious, and I started going a few times that week, looking at between Daphne and another dog, Sylvester. And the shelter actually noticed that I was coming around a lot, and they knew that this was a big decision I was going to make, because when I make a decision to do something, I really commit to it. So anyway, we ended up adopting Daphne. Daphne played fetch, and she just stole my heart right away.